The following is a presentation of MRE UNO, Division 2.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our second regional final for the June Gelato. Again, I'm back at it again, and I'm with my co-commentator Yoshi. But today we're going to open things up with a doubleheader. The first part of this is going to be a bit of an early morning clash between number 2 seeded Sky and number 5 seeded Goldie in the AMARENA region. Let's take a look at the bracket here before we jump into the match channel. We saw yesterday in a pretty quick streamed game and also a pretty quick match, White Spider dominated the matchup against Sabrana 1-4-0 there, continued his undefeated game win streak, which is kind of wild. Has been really getting fortunate with how the hands have been drawn, and has just kind of rode that momentum, and he will be the first spot in the Final Four. But now on the other side of the bracket, we're going to determine our first spot in the other Final Four matchup, and that will be either Sky or Goldie from the AMARENA region. Both these players are in their first regional final, and therefore looking for their first Final Four. So a lot of opportunity on the table for both these players. So we'll see who gets the job done here today. Jumping over to the stream again, as I said before, joined by my co-commentator Yoshi, and we also have both our players in the VC along with Nam here. Yoshi, I know you weren't really able to talk much for the matchup yesterday, but Brad joins the VC. But I know you weren't able to talk much for the matchup yesterday, but I mean, I think you're locked in, ready to go for this one. I mean, when we're looking at this matchup specifically, I mean, I feel like this is something you wouldn't typically think is something that would be a regional final matchup based off how the season began for both these players, but they've kind of built their way up to get to this point, and it's kind of a clash. It's a big clash here at the end of it, and one of them is going to get paid off with the Final Four here. So, what's the expectation going into this matchup for you, and what do you think is going to be the key ingredient to getting the victory here?
So I do feel like with the players both coming after not a great start for either of them. They both lost in the first round. It brings a lot of I feel like with a lot of players, that's kind of like sometimes you need that early loss to then learn and adapt going into the future. And I think that both these players did that to their full potential, and now they're basically just looking to get as many wins as possible because they're pretty set into the LCQ. Now it's just on. Well, now they just got to go as far as they can. Can they get further than the Elite Eight and moving forward? I mean, for both of them, this is the best run they've had. So I think now it comes down to learning, being in a position like this for both of them, and at least for both of them, they can say that they're in an even position. It's not like one person has an advantage over the other experience-wise. I think they've both learned a lot and have improved. We saw improvement earlier from Sky, but I do think Goldie in T3 in total has just done a lot to really improve their game and also understand power play. And I think for both of them, they've adapted to the power play as well pretty well. So it's really I think it could come down to that. That could be a key ingredient, the power play. Maybe they could try and experiment using it early, because usually most people wait for the end, but using it early could also be a good idea as well. And then also maybe thinking about using a power play defensively, because it's rare when it's a good idea to use it defensively. Of course, the main situation you would use it is if the opponent is one game away from winning and they have like a big run going, then yeah, you want to stop that. But maybe you got to try. Maybe it's about using the power play in an unorthodox situation that may actually give you the momentum to bring the series home. That could be something for sure. And then also just making sure that mentally you're making the right moves, and not overthinking it, because with Sky being nervous in the past, they could be vulnerable to making nervous and overthinking their decisions. And I've been affected by that as well myself in the past, which in some cases doesn't matter, in other cases does. So I think if Sky can keep this calm and collected, this will definitely be very, very close. If not, we'll see. We'll see how much it affects the match. But I think in general, they're both going to play very clean, and it's going to be an exciting match.
Yeah, I mean, I think you did mention it with the nerves. I think that is something that is going to be tested a bit. Although both these players have had a stream match in this tournament specifically. Also, I believe it was the only two stream matches actually prior to this round that we were able to get done. Just a bunch of scheduling difficulties that kind of limited it a bit, but they
Yeah,
hope to do all four of them for this round. And now you have the two people who had the streams prior going head to head here, so going to be interesting to see how that goes. But maybe before we jump into this, any last comments from either our participants going into this one before we get started? Always like leaving a little bit of an open-ended statement here before we jump into the match, but we'll see.
yeah.
Doesn't look like anything. I think both these players are ready to get going. So that said, Yoshi, of course, will be a referee, and he will get things underway.
Okay, so we are going to start game one with Sky having the first call. And of course, with the first game, you can choose whatever you want. So the range being 5 to 15, what are you going to go for? All right, we are starting low, and I think we've seen this from Sky in the past. So I think this is going to become just a normal strategy for Sky now, and we'll see how it pans out.
I always think this is like an interesting one because you're definitely running the roulette early, but we'll see how it plays out as we're starting with the green 7 here, so nothing crazy to start.
Yeah, looks to be normal right now, and but we'll see. And okay, well, as expected, we got someone who doesn't have a starting color. So okay, well, they're both going to draw.
Yeah, it seems like the green was not distributed for this one, so might have very early draw city going.
Yeah, Sky having the card advantage with being able to play one card and before drawing. So and got the same card.
I mean, sure, but no more green 4 for the rest of the game. But I think I mean, that's a guaranteed draw from Sky, I believe, unless they just did a hold for something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, it's just Sky like building a bit of a lead here could be a good thing or a bad thing, but really they're really just looking to make the first big move in the switch, or just a number to be able to switch into. It's nice to see we have a bit of a bigger crowd than the last game. We got Brad and Nam from D1.
I mean, that was also partly because the game started an hour late and it kind of intersected with the D1 reveal show, so I don't blame it that we had a bit of a
True
small crowd.
Yeah. Okay.
Wild Blue's gonna break it here.
Yeah. So
quite a bit of a draw that we've had though. So
yeah, it's always interesting to see a wild play as early as it is. Of course, for here it does make sense. Goldie, instead of waiting for the numbers, is going to just use the wild right off the bat, and it looks to be working right now.
I mean, for Sky, that's not a great situation because essentially that makes a two-colored strategy here. But gets the switch here. I mean, they're pretty much running the red and yellow at this point. Now I would think Goldie has both those colors, so I'm just curious to see what they do with that, or if they have any remaining blues left. I don't think there's any greens in either player's hand unless Sky drew a green on that last draw. So I don't know how much we're really going to see that.
Okay. Yeah, Sky trying to run it down now. Goldie has been able to get some numbers off the blue, and wow, we're seeing a triple play actually. So that's probably gonna even it a bit. Maybe put Goldie in the lead.
Definitely should put Goldie in the lead. But I'm interested to see what they go from this point forward and what Sky's going to respond with here because you do give us a little bit of ammo here.
Red
Red
0.
zero.
Okay, so
Does Goldie still
maybe
have red
hoping
here?
that. Yeah, maybe was hoping
Nope.
for Goldie to draw, and there it is.
I was thinking that three bagger looks like that was the last red they had, and that's it ended up happening. I think that red 0 could have definitely stopped a potential switch.
Yeah, give Sky a chance to run the reds here, and we'll see if that +2 really is going to set Sky back. But for now, it's Goldie is continuing to run.
Hmm. If Sky keeps going with the red, this has been
Okay.
quite the long run with the red so far.
Yeah, has got an interesting hand for sure. Right now, Goldie's kind of stuck, and there's a
Switches the
switch, but it's not a safe one.
that's I think there needs to be some sort of follow up with this one. That's a ditto.
Oh, yeah, Sky was ready to switch anyway. So, oh wow, but
We
what a
do
play!
get it, assuming it loads. Red reverse. There we go. Uh, do we see a stall here or no? This
Oh,
might be
wait a
an end.
minute.
This might be ending the
Wait a
game
minute.
here.
Was that a
Wow.
wow? That switch was like that switch must have been a bait then. Wow. Okay.
Oh, it's
No,
just
but
2
it's
and 0.
not game. Okay. I wonder what Goldie was hoping for there. Guy
Well,
has a chance to respond though.
I'm not quite sure, but I think this really comes down to what Sky drew here because I mean Goldie went for the aggressive strategy and that's
Ah,
they're
there
gonna
it
get
is.
bit by it. Goes back to
Mm.
green though. This quick switch to
Oh,
the blue
okay.
had
That
double.
might
I
have been the last card.
might have had double blue 8 here. I would think Sky could have some blue here, but oh my god, a wild
Oh
respawn
no,
back.
my
We are
goodness!
getting a huge war with the colors. Yeah, Goldie
Wow,
does not have
great
anything to
move.
respond back with that.
So I think what I okay, my guess is the Goldie was hoping that after the +4, it did the +4. I think she was taking a risk there and hoping the +4 didn't give Sky good cards, but unfortunately it didn't work out that way. But Goldie's getting these switches off the green.
Oh man,
Oh my goodness!
that's a trifecta 6 here. I don't know if we'll get the blue, but
I
uh,
don't think so.
that's gonna make Goldie draw though. If Sky could get a playoff red, that might play out really well.
Yeah.
That's Uno.
Wow. Interesting.
I mean, Goldie.
Considering that Sky used the wild on
Oh,
the green, but that might have been off the draw.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a wise one, but it's still an art nonetheless. Uh, and Sky has
Okay.
nothing. Sky has nothing either, so might not have had to finish there anyways.
Okay. Unless if it was the number or something, but that would have been something if it was it could have been a number efficiency on the 4, but we don't really know now.
Have a bit of a draw city going on right now, a bit of a dangerous draw city. This game so far has gone longer than every single game that happened yesterday. So,
My goodness.
this hand just keeps getting interesting comment there. We'll see how this goes, but again, the 5 card trick sometimes does this where either it's really short or it could go really long. We just hit 7 minutes, so we could be in for a longer one. No,
Wow.
gets
Okay.
worse and worse and plays a +4 here. So
No. I think I can maybe I can understand what they're saying, but oh.
oh well. I mean,
Okay.
I obviously never think that revealing how your hand is looking is not great, but we'll see how this plays out for Sky. Goes with the
Yeah.
yellow one. Goldie gets 11 cards, just a bit of an interesting predicament.
Yeah, we'll probably have to think about what to do.
Yeah.
Okay, goes for a switch and or maybe gonna do a +2. Maybe needs just to give a +2. No, it's just gonna be blue one.
Yeah.
So look, switches at this point are kind of risky, but it could definitely work in your favor.
Blue 0, the
Blue
Sky down to
0.
2. Yeah, I mean, I think that those three baggers we're going to see quite a bit in these longer games, but uh, blue
Oh,
reverse, blue 7. I mean, I think I'm good with that. I think you made the switch to blue. You got to stick with it. And Sky draws.
okay.
Makes a
Well,
switch there.
okay.
That's back to green. That might be another. That could be another stall potentially.
I
Uh,
mean, Goldie does have more control with more cards, and that's probably what she's going for.
this.
Wow.
I mean, listen. They have the draw on the blue. Okay.
Yeah.
I think the real
Unless it was
concern
a
was whether it was a
9.
9.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I
okay.
I'm
Well, no, okay.
I think we're getting a bit too antsy with this, but again, it's working out, so it's a risky play. Gets
Oh,
the
okay.
switch there.
Yeah.
I could see
Guys,
number.
just
That's
oh,
check.
that might be.
Needs a plus
I
2 or
guess he just
something or
beat
it's over,
game,
and that's gonna be
honestly.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, wraps it up. Double
What?
wild. Wow. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. It at that point with the double wild, it was kind of just looking like it was wrapped up there. Could have just gone for the wild red, no matter where with the wild, no matter what you needed. But yeah, I mean at that point, at the end, it was just kind of just wrapping it all up there. And I mean, I got the switch to yellow at the end though, but at that point, it was essentially too late unless they had a plus 2. But yeah, thoughts
I
after
mean,
how
Sky.
the
I
first
guess
game
Sky
went.
already
But
gave their thoughts.
yeah, for some reason, Wiles is some of the tougher cards for me to figure out how to stack off of. But it's easier to not have to worry at the end about what to play with. Yeah, fair enough. Uh, but yeah, that 9 minutes 10 seconds for game number 1 here. Like you end with a double wild, you both you play both no matter what. Yeah, I mean at that point it's really just the plus 2 or even a plus 4 that could stop you, but we saw the span of plus 4s. Uh, but that's how it goes sometimes. I think we'll just jump into game number 2 here. I mean, both players gave
Yeah.
their thoughts pretty much. Sky still has the call, still has free range since he didn't quite win that one. So we'll see what Sky goes with.
Yeah, it's still early. We'll see what Sky goes for now, and
All right,
it's going a little bit
doubles up,
higher.
doubles up with it.
Yeah. This is from the bottom of the card starts to the mid pack, and but with Goldie getting the next card start, we don't really know what he's gonna go for. I don't think it's gonna be the full send, but
Red 9.
oh,
It's not it's not Goldie's turn. Now they'll play the
well, it
red
doesn't
5.
matter.
That could have been really bad if Sky had a switch there. Uh,
Yeah. Now it's about running down these reds and not gonna see draws as early as we saw in the last game.
Forgot to stop the clock there. So just add a few seconds, but
Okay. There's our first draw, and wow, but Goldie perfect draw for her because she gets to switch into the 9 with the yellow.
it's kind of interesting also because even if the switch
Ooh.
happened, they could have swapped back to the 9 anyways. So
Okay, it was a
that
bait, but it didn't work.
yeah, that's a little interesting. That may not have panned out well. Gets the 7 off the draw here potentially, but okay, Sky again.
Okay.
Draws on the
Well, I
yellow
mean, I guess
7.
they're likely to both be drawing unless Goldie has a 7.
I mean, this really comes down to if Goldie has the switch on the 7, otherwise we're gonna probably have another draw city going.
Yeah. Interesting, interesting start here. I feel like, okay,
Yeah.
well, yeah,
Again,
you
I think
know,
this taps it into the mentality aspects. Like again, we said before. Yeah, I know some people undervalue it, but it does play an important factor, especially in these stressful situations like these.
okay. There's a switch, and
Clean play.
that's not okay. Yeah, that's what that was. Yeah, okay. This is a case where I guess Goldie sometimes types too fast to really process what's going on. Sometimes, doesn't it only worked out? It's been she's getting away with it, but we'll see if that ends up becoming a problem later. But does go for the switch early.
Mhm. Sky responds with a double up here, so
Oh,
and Goldie
okay.
responds back with a +2.
Yeah, okay, these two are going pretty quick now. It's interesting how neither of them are really checking the table very often, I feel like.
That's another
Oh,
wild
okay.
check here. Uh,
That's, yeah.
that's on the yellow, so that might be it. Wow. Yeah, another double
No
wild?
way.
Wow. Um,
Us again.
okay, that's kind of crazy. Same finish both times, and I mean, it's a pretty good hand there, so I don't really know
Oh,
what else you could really take from that. That's yeah, I mean, I see some number efficiency on that, but besides that, you're running two color. That's a tough one to be on if you're not on the colors you need, especially with the double wild. It's really hard to fight back against. I mean, the Goldie really. I mean, any thoughts on that game? I mean, it seems like you got a really good starting hand to some essence, and then just was able to capitalize on it.
yeah, the interesting thing to me is like how Goldie's really able to to keep those wilds and like if this becomes like a new strategy for Goldie, it could be very scary when um against really good players now because if you're looking to save the wilds to the end like
Yeah,
that, like there's not much you can really do.
yeah. I mean, like one wild's pretty good, but when you got two wilds, it's a whole different story. It's it don't like I mean even then I mean with based off what we were able to find out even if Sky had a switch there on the starting hand they could have swapped back to the red 9 and corrected course so uh yeah I don't know I mean that would have made the switch to yellow a little harder but uh interesting yeah that's kind of just kind of how it goes sometimes but let's read that I mean, hand started great and got lucky switches. Sometimes all you can need with the Uno. Sky switches the blue is really helpful for me, and then of course goes through the start. Um, but yeah, it was a rough homestand for Sky. I mean, Sky when it comes to this, obviously that second game just felt like you kind of got hosed there. But any thoughts going into these next two games, looking to try to make it 2-2 here?
Yeah, this could be a situation where um it's just a case where the person on the road's going to get the better hands, but I mean, hoping that it doesn't end up like the last game where um White Spider just got better hands and just took advantage. I feel like uh for this game especially, I definitely want more of like an even matchup here, but we'll see. We'll see if the tables turn for Sky.
I mean, definitely. I think yesterday was a bit of a combination of absurd hands and also just Rana getting kind of out of her flow, and that kind of just really kind of just caused her to lose focus. But we'll see what happens this time. We'll go to game number 3 here again. The position arrow is going to switch here, so Goldie's going to have the call. Can't do 10. So
Yeah. All right. So what are we gonna go for? Just as long as it's not 10, you're
yeah,
good. Yeah.
12 cards.
Well, yeah. That's a usual card start for Goldie. I feel. Um, we're gonna see how this ends up. Goldie can make it 3-0, or Sky could bring it back 2-1 and make this a series.
I'm thinking about this also, Gale 3 here, but both power plays have been used. I'm wondering if both are going to get just saved till the end of the game to just win the series, or if maybe we'll see something else a little bit in the middle. I usually like the power plays that are not just wait until you're down to your last hands and you just play it to win the series. I usually like the ones that are a little more creative than that, but it's an effective thing to do, but we'll see how it goes. Goldie already up to 2, so I think this is an important game for Sky
Uh,
here to try to bring the momentum back.
let's see how this ends up with these switches because as we saw in game 2, that switch that Sky made mattered quite a bit in telling how the game was going to go. So Sky just got to be more careful on that, and that's a fair move going back into the yellow because
Goldie
yep, Goldie
draws.
switched out of it, and it was
Goldie was the
truthful.
one who
So
swapped into the green here, so that's not something that's crazy surprising here. We'll see if Sky can keep running the yellow here. I mean, it depends on what they have here, but throw goes to the double
okay,
+2. Doesn't quite do the red +2 correctly, but there we go.
okay,
We'll
yeah, that's
see.
a lot
We'll
of
see what they
cards right
do.
there.
Red skip, bit of a run going.
Okay, wow, what we're gonna see here?
Red 4
No,
close it off.
the-
All right. I forgot to start the timer. Okay. Well, that's my bad.
yeah, okay. One above the full send for Goldie against the 5 card start for Sky.
So not quite.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Not quite in comeback territory. Also, only 16 cards.
yeah, unfortunate for Sky because I guess they were hoping for a switch,
Ooh, quick switch to green.
but they're gonna get one here with the 5.
Okay, I
Yeah, go.
mismatched the timer here, so I'm just trying to make sure it's as close to what we have. But
Does a ditto. Okay, so Goldie's trying to play this calm and collected right now, and I think in some situations she's been really, especially in this tournament, she's been really good at that. Yeah, not. Yeah, she was playing pretty experimental in the last game with switching a lot. Um, this time she's gonna play um more patient and okay,
ooh,
that's
slight bail
draw. But
there. Um,
what are we seeing with this? Okay, just a switch, and I'm sure Goldie's gonna have something. We'll see if it's ammo or if it's just going to be playing it cool once again.
I wouldn't be surprised if Goldie drew a wild here and maybe goes back to the green here, but I could also see maybe something ran on the blue. It has the +2 here, so just wants to keep it blue.
Yeah.
Uh,
Classic +2, nothing too crazy.
this guy able to keep going though, but for how long?
Yeah, I think Goldie's just waiting for that draw. We'll see if that ends up happening. But Sky continuing the blues.
Switch the yellow
Ooh,
here.
that could be a big switch.
Plays
Goldie's
cool with the
gonna
yellow 8.
then trying to avoid
That's
aggression
Uno.
right now. It is working because now Sky's only at 1 card and okay,
Gonna test the 0 here, and Sky doesn't have it, so
okay. Yeah, this patience is really working, or unless maybe Goldie has not gotten good cards, but still, I think um, for Goldie, she's definitely playing well with the amount of cards she has, and Sky just needs to make sure Goldie doesn't get back into the game here.
yeah, I
Might
mean,
need to let it out. Oh,
oh, gets the green 0 here. I mean, I think the hold on the yellow 0 was good, but I think Sky drew a green there, so not going back to yellow here. I would think Goldie has a play here, so we'll see what happens. But doubles
Okay.
up, green 4. I mean, this is really just how long Sky runs this though, because I feel like the consider. Oh, that was Uno. Wow.
Oh,
Oh, that's Goldie might be kicking themselves for that one, but Sky
it doesn't
draws.
matter. Okay.
Uh, but yeah, and we got another draw city going here. This is I feel like for Sky here, they're getting the runs, but the problem is they have that one stray card that's just not cooperating with them. They just can't seem to get rid of it, and that might be the problem for Sky right now. So we'll see how it goes. They do have a bit of a lead right now, so it's really just about trying to stay low here and not trying to expand the amount of cards in your hand. So because
Wow.
they do this again with they did this in game one where I think it was the same card also, where it
Mm,
was the draw city on the green 4, and then they played the other green 4. Yeah, it
yeah.
was. So this green 4 has been not very friendly in terms of getting a playoff so far in this series. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I think the real thing for Sky here keeps minimizing the amount of cards in the hand. It's very clear green is not very strong for either of these players, so uh,
Okay. Green
it's
one.
a green 1 here. I mean, both players are probably looking for a switch, so
Yeah. And
and
that's the number
there we
Sky
go,
needed.
blue 1. Runs with the blue
Okay.
3.
Blue
Blue
two.
2. It's
Table check and
down the 2. Um, Table check came before the play. Blue 1.
blue one.
Little
Okay.
bit of counting down here. Do we get the Uno? We do not.
Oh man.
Had it ready this time
Hey,
though.
Goldie was ready that time, but didn't matter.
Unfortunately, you could not call out draw. So that's an
Takes another risk.
interesting switch.
Oh my
Pays off
god.
though because that does give some information here. But
That is
thing
wow.
is,
I
what does
mean,
Goldie use with this? But doubles up.
okay.
Ooh, gets the
Oh,
wild off the draw, and I mean that's what I was thinking. That's the color that Sky wants here.
is three, so Goldie could think about just
Yellow
playing this
8.
cool and for now.
I mean, guaranteed play here from Sky. Do we get a run, or is it just gonna be a single card?
Yeah, Sky
Yellow
needs to go for
skip.
the run, I feel.
Does this look like? Is this a run, or is this just a double up here? It's a double up.
Okay,
Gets the Uno call there. Uh,
let's see.
yeah, no, that's fine.
I mean, fair enough.
Just hit 8 minutes here, although the timer on the stream may be a little inaccurate since we kind of forgot to start it. But
Yeah, I
uh,
think I think eight looks about right. It was seven. The last it said 7 minutes.
it's mainly the seconds it comes down to.
Oh, yeah, that's
Wild's red
cheating.
here. I mean, I think there's only by some if they got an unlucky draw, but it does it. It's a good stall, or not really a stall. I think Scott Goldie's gonna play this.
Yeah, no KT Classic for right now.
Does Sky get a draw off the Uno? Oh my God, they get a wild
Oh,
blue off the
another
Uno.
wild.
Oh, they could
Oh,
have played that bad, and that's it.
that's,
Wow,
that's it. Oh my
that's
god.
a
Finally
huge
the
fail.
bailout the bailout finally gets there.
All right, just, Sky finally gets the bailout, but I mean, you look at that, and I mean that could have been bad for Goldie because if they played the wild blue, that would have been it there. Because I was wondering if maybe yellow was not the last card there, based off how this game has gone so far, and it was not. Um, but Sky gets the wild off the draw to bail them out a bit and makes it 2-1. So
Yeah,
I
like
mean, it's a
all the wilds were coming out at the end there. That was crazy.
damn blue was the card I was stuck on that whole time. Yeah, I was saying before, Sky, like I felt like you were getting to the end there, but it felt like there was just that one card that kept preventing you from finishing it off. Thoughts on that game and how thankful are you that Wild helped you get out of that because it was looking like you were stuck in a very bad situation for most of that match.
Yeah, my guess for Goldie was that probably was either not aggressive enough or probably just didn't have any ammo. Well, yeah, clearly he didn't have any ammo after the wild blue. So interesting. I didn't see any plus fours at all that entire game, which is kind of surprising. But because I think we went through like half the deck, so that was an interesting game. It did feel very even, but it was just the wild off the draw that sealed it.
Pretty much. Didn't get the wild blue, probably would have kept me getting stuck. I really had ammo whenever I had connections to other colors. Like one point I had 10 number cards. What do you do with that? I mean, you could go with number efficiency, but yeah, that's a kind of a tough spot to be in. Not everyone's really going to be able to get out of it. So, um, but yeah, that's first 3 games so far. The away player has won on all of them. So
Yeah. Yeah, an
yeah,
interesting series so far. Good to see that we definitely have we don't have a complete domination from one or the other. It's probably going to be close. All right, we got the next card start all set up.
goes with the 11 here. So 1 down.
Yeah, we'll see. This could be a 2-2 or we're going to see a 3-1, but either way, I feel like Sky's definitely back in this.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes that one game can help you shift the momentum here, and
Oh,
uh,
oh,
the momentum has completely stalled out for Goldie here because they draw on the green 9 with 11 cards.
okay. Yeah, that could tell a lot, or that is just maybe that could be a strategy where Goldie doesn't want to give away her hand. Like she might have greens and doesn't want to give that away. We'll see. Interesting play though. They definitely could just have no greens. There's the 0. I had a feeling like if she doesn't have greens, she might just have a 0 in there, and rare to see it, but you have an early switch off of it with the yellow.
Might not be to Sky's benefit though, because they might would have wanted to keep running the green.
Yeah. Okay, Sky playing a yellow, and they are running this down quite a bit actually.
No, they are drawing out the yellow pretty quickly.
Yeah, I feel like there comes the draw. So will Goldie be able to switch or will Goldie be able to switch, or is this going to be a draw city? Oh wow. Okay, still more yellows.
And Sky runs out. Or no, they ran out before my mistake. I had to check something, but Goldie
Okay,
runs out
well,
though.
yeah, it might be a good thing for Sky. They could go for the switch right now, but I think that okay. Well,
That's interesting. I see what they're going for here. We'll see what Goldie does, but all right,
oh
doesn't
well.
doesn't
Okay.
doesn't take it here. Just gets plays the yellow 8 they drew, and Sky has no switch, and neither does
Yeah,
Goldie.
no, yeah, I feel like Sky just needs to hope for maybe Goldie to get a few more cards because Goldie's at the advantage right now. Okay, not as big of an advantage as I thought, but
Well, there goes my plan.
eh.
Okay. Draws. Hmm.
I mean, they're both drawing, so
I mean, I think the comments from Gold Sky are interesting because like this is a double-edged sword here because you don't really know what they're specifically talking about, but it also could be revealing in some ways. So
yeah, I think they're definitely both playing an interesting game right now, and I think it could make for a competitive game, but it just depends on who makes that first switch and what they're gonna do with it. Because remember, we saw earlier with the switch on the using a wild to switch out of a draw city, and it did work out for Goldie. But this time, Goldie's gonna just play a switch on the 8. Oh my! Wait! No,
Ooh.
never mind. That's close to comeback territory, but not quite. Still,
We're
that's
up to 16 here. And I don't think we're gonna add anymore.
okay. This is a big run. We'll see how far it goes. That's 4 right now.
Make it 6.
That's 6. Okay. It goes into 3 colors to make that move, and is now has half the amount of cards as Goldie does. Goldie's gonna play cool.
I think Sky needs to play here, otherwise I'm not really sure what the idea will be at the end of it besides giving cards, and they do have the red 9.
Yeah, that makes sense. With the double red 9. We'll see if Goldie was patient in that though, because you could I mean, if you expect them to have 2 of the same card on the color they switched into, you could wait to play the 9. You could wait to play the number until after. Let's see if Goldie knew that, or if they're just gonna keep playing the reds.
Oh, it
Okay,
throws
well,
back the plus 2s here.
good, giving a +6 right back, and now it's back to even basically. Oh my goodness.
This has been a back and forth game so far. Yellow 1.
Okay.
It's interesting because I mean this is kind of a bit of a difference from what we saw yesterday, because I think besides game 2 this has been mostly a reasonable match.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's oh
Oh,
my
it's just as
time.
I say that, we have to skip into the plus 4.
Yeah, Sky is not afraid to use this ammo. Um,
Really wants that red.
yeah, that's interesting. Goldie's not gonna switch.
May not have been able to. Um, and Sky's just gonna keep running the red here.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at. Okay, bringing it back to cooling it down after the heat of the ammo that we saw earlier. See if anyone runs out of red. I mean, not yet. Wow.
Runs
Okay.
out. Sky ran out. How long does Goldie run this? Or will not be that long. I mean, there's 11 cards here. All these players still have reasonably high cards.
Yeah, it's still hard to predict what they both have left. Goldie's just
Withdrawing
gonna
the red.
okay off the draw. I was gonna say Goldie's just gonna try and play the patient game now. Okay, never mind.
Plays the unpatient game.
Yeah, and blue 9.
Or
Okay, so
impatient. Oh, not unpatient. That's not a word.
yeah. um, guys, guy is content with this blue. We'll see who benefits from this more. Okay, never mind. Goldie's gonna play a bit more switches now, going for the switches to try and confuse Sky.
Goldie's did a lot of these light switches early in this match. I'm curious what to see what they're looking for with this. It could just be also they're looking for a slight bail to get the switch off the color they're on because they just kind of run dry or something like that. But Sky still has a
Good table
2.5 card
check.
lead.
Yeah, that's a good table check actually. Because they're both getting close for sure. It's gonna be when Sky runs out of green, but Sky's gets down to 2. Goldie at 5 might have some ammo left, but and yeah, I
Yep,
was gonna
plus
say
4. Throws it down.
doesn't want to risk it.
I mean, this is where like we have low cards here, and I mean, Sky has used a lot of ammo here. I'm not sure what they have left up their sleeve here, but this could come down to what they drew on the plus 4.
Yeah,
They have a blue one.
okay, gonna keep it blue.
Alright, just
Okay.
running it blue here. What is the play from Sky here?
Yeah, just
Oh, it's a
oh
plus 4 of their own. They
wow,
they didn't trust it. They threw the plus 4 down.
wow. Okay,
Keeps it
so
blue also.
yeah, it's rare when you see that kind of move, but you know if it works, it could definitely work in their favor because a lot of ammo has been used at this point, and but Goldie gets the switch.
Oh,
Oh,
double
Sky with the
efficiency!
response.
Keeps it blue,
Wow.
and I mean Sky looking for Uno here.
Yeah, this would be a great play if you got blue to the finish
Blue
here.
4.
Oh my goodness.
Does Sky have it here? Blue 3. No, they
No,
don't.
it's that one miss. It's that one card again.
Goldie doesn't
Okay,
have it
but
here.
it's
Does Sky get another
yeah.
bailout? No, they don't. Um, yeah, I mean,
Okay.
again, this is this is what we saw last game. Sky has just want that one card that is just being such a nuisance right now, and they just cannot figure out a way to get it out of their hand. Had it really lined up well, but unfortunately just couldn't get it completed. Gets the wild, so
Interesting.
potential bail here, but with how many draws they had, I'm not sure if this is all red to the end.
Yeah, 6-3 again. I mean Goldie. I feel like Goldie at this point is just gonna have to play this cool and see what happens. Unless she does have an answer.
Just hit 11 minutes here, so I'm interested to see what Goldie's thinking because well, I mean
Oh,
they just
oh
decided to throw
my.
a plus 6 down.
No way. Wow, Goldie had that.
Make that a
Oh my.
wow. That is oh man. Switches it makes it to the reverse and draws, but
Plus
that's a plus
12?
12. That's hmm. A lot of ammo has been used though, so this might play out okay. But
Uh,
just as I say that, this guy does double blue skip.
alright, this is gonna be something here. You know, if Sky goes for the switch, it's more risky than anything. But I can actually, hmm, actually, well, depending on what Goldie has potentially revealed, it could actually not be a bad move. But we'll see what they go for. Oh well, okay.
Yeah, that's
I
big run
I
here.
haven't kept track of how many plus fours are left, but oh yeah, yeah for sure. In D2,
That's the last one I believe.
yeah, that's what I think so. Yeah, Goldie, to answer your question, in MRE history, yes. Wow, that's an interesting play. In D2, I think there's been at least one. I don't think we have yet to see it ever. I just don't remember. I don't remember when. I do think it's happened though.
Well, that's all plus fours off the table here. I think the plus 2 into the wild was a bit strange, but see how that
Yeah,
works
well,
out.
it's really going to depend on how long can Sky run down these reds, and you know, with them still having quite a bit of cards, it's hard to read what Sky has left, which is probably a good thing because you know, if Goldie can easily read what Sky has, it's easy to make a move. But okay, goes for the switch into green.
I feel like they
I'm
have
not
a
sure what
play
that's gonna
here.
do.
Yeah, Sky
Yeah.
should have a play. I mean, this really is just. I mean, they're pretty much at even now at this point. So it goes
Wow.
to the blue, and I mean that's the thing I'm a little curious about because they did the blue skip and then the +4 and then to the +2. I mean, they could have just wanted to draw them cards, but you did throw away a key card to possibly mitigate any potential out straggler cards here in this deck. So
Yeah, they're speeding it up right now. I do remember that there was a game where between Goldie and Ryan Reed that went pretty long, and
Goalie ran out.
Goldie is used to long games, whereas I feel like Sky isn't as
So is Sky.
much. Okay, but we're both gonna be drawing. Oh, never mind. Both got a blue off the draw.
Switches
Oh
to the
wow.
yellow.
Okay.
I mean, they're both even, so guess
Okay,
the
Sky
there's
has the
another yellow
yellow.
here. I mean, they're running yellow. It's Goldie with the
This could
position arrow
be
here. This is really just coming down to who can run it, and Sky cannot.
okay.
That's Uno.
Gets to Uno.
This might come down to if they have yellow here or if Sky decides to do a switch.
Yeah, we'll see if Sky has an answer.
There's no +4s left, so we're not seeing that.
Yeah.
You can't power
No,
play on Uno.
yeah, they're at Uno, so that is not allowed. You will get your power
Well,
play back, but
ooh, that's
oh
the number
my
efficiency.
god, unbelievable.
Wow. Uh,
I mean, that was probably checkmate anyway, because if Sky didn't have any yellows left, all they could really
they
do
did have
was.
a yellow.
Hmm,
Oh man. I mean, that's interesting
okay.
also because they could have played the yellow and the game would have kept going, but yeah. Um, that's a tough one to get the Uno on, but I mean, unfortunately, just didn't. That was it was a 50-50. It was a 50-50 there, and just did not win the 50-50. Um, but yeah, I mean, Goldie, thoughts on how that game went? I mean, that was a long one, but you're the one who know coming on top of the end. I think some of that experience from some of those longer games really helped you out there.
Yeah, that was actually an unbelievable game for Goldie, because the way that Goldie, after those draws, Goldie only really had yellow in that one number efficient, uh, different color. So really, once she got the color that she needed, all she really had to do was keep it yellow and get to the Uno. And yeah, I think I guess for Sky, if the power play was allowed there, it definitely would have worked, because Goldie would have won. Goldie was going to win. But unfortunately, uh, it's unfortunately too much of a risk to. Unfortunately, it was too much of a risk, and you had to. I guess all you had to do was keep it yellow to keep the game going, and maybe that would have um, been better. But at least with the mistake on the power play, you still have it, so they will get a chance to use it in game 5 here. But yeah, it's gonna be a tough battle from this point, because Sky cannot afford to lose a game from this point forward.
Yeah, I'm reading Goldie's post game comments on this one. I mean, I think once he's in a well used game for running out the cards, making use of the numbers to see. Game is always one to take the bigger swings and one to wait it out. Couldn't have said it better myself, but yeah, for Sky, tough switch there. Didn't work out. But I guess the good thing is they have the arrow back now for game number 5 here to try to keep this going. They will need to win 3 straight if they want to make it to the final 4. But uh, I mean, Yoshi, take it away here. We'll get game 5
Yeah,
underway.
Sky. This is going to be an interesting game here. You got to get this win to keep it alive. You just can't pick 12. So what is the call? All right. Yeah. Um. There we go. Going to the 8th, which is back a little bit lower, but I think that's a fair move to make. We'll see what ends up
Yellow 4.
happening here.
I don't think we've had any, I don't think we've had any special card starts so far, which is a bit interesting because we usually see that sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really mean much for how how the hand is distributed between both players, but I guess what we're looking at here is an early double play from Sky, which could indicate that Sky does not have any yellows left, but we'll see. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, also true, actually. To be fair, Sky kind of needs that if they want to keep this game alive, especially considering that you still have the oh my goodness. Especially
Uh,
considering that
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 might
Goldie
that might be a sign.
hold on.
Just a hunch.
Yeah, Goldie might have been right on that one. What I guess what I was gonna say. Ooh,
Switches to
okay.
red 3. We'll see if that does anything.
Yeah, red has not been played yet, so Sky might actually want that. Okay.
This guy plays it, so down to 3. We'll see if Goldie has a little ammo here on the red switch, or if they just keep playing numbers.
Yeah, it's really about when to use the ammo for Goldie because I feel like she's probably been getting opportunities to use them. Sometimes you might just want to like see what happens, maybe just wait to use your ammo for later. But Goldie could easily just go for a +2, +4, whatever. Yeah, there's always that question as well, where they could be on the run. They could have a 3-card run to the finish. There's a lot.
Throws the +4 down.
Yeah,
Didn't
there's a lot at
trust it.
stake, but there's another +4.
I have to wonder also if maybe Sky had a decent bunch of ammo if they just used it up early, but they draw on the
Okay,
yellow here.
so didn't have any yellows before or after the +4. So wow, that's tech. I mean, is that a KT Classic?
I guess. I mean, it's not really one that we'd usually classify it as, but
Yeah,
again,
that
and that's
that
that's
is
when a lot of
interesting.
people misclassify what a KT Classic is also. So
Yeah, I mean, I'll say it's not, but that is interesting.
gets
No
a +4
way.
there.
3. Okay, so there's only one +4 left already.
I see.
Um,
I have to wonder if maybe Goldie using the +4 early there may not have been what they would have wanted, or would have ideally what they would have wanted here, because like based off how that went those draws, I feel like that +4 could have been just off the draw. So I don't know. Um, we'll see how this ends up.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Sky still has a decent amount of cards left to win the game here, so I think Goldie just got to figure out what to do. Probably doesn't have as much ammo as she once had, so just gotta. It's really gonna matter on when to switch the color, or if she should keep it the same. Okay, yeah. There's an interesting switch. This guy's still able to run. Okay,
He plays the green 5 here. Does Sky keep it going, or is this a draw? It's gonna be a draw here.
no. Ooh, back to the blue. Okay, Goldie has a response. Does that help Sky though? Ooh, maybe. We'll see what this means. Okay, just Uno. So, um, hard to read what Sky has left at this point. Honestly,
We
We'll
have a
see.
skip
What is Goldie?
and a 0.
Goldie's going to keep it red, and the 0 is a good play as well. Kind of a good
This is
avoiding of number
another draw. This is
50.
like the turn or dry
Yeah.
run here. This is what we have been seeing throughout this entire match. Jeez.
Okay.
This is the turn or dry style here from Sky here because they keep getting the Uno here and they just cannot finish this game off. So I'm not sure what's not clicking here with that, but they cannot figure out a way to get rid of that one strike card, and it's absolutely been costing them.
Okay.
Okay,
You got
first
another
draw.
reverse, but it doesn't really help.
I mean, they did this before here, but I don't know if Sky's gonna do what they're hoping. It's really just about for Sky finding a switch at some point. Goldie
Yeah,
plays the red 8.
Goldie keeping it red, and as long as Scott doesn't get number efficiency,
That's
and
a switch there.
there it
That might
is.
have that might have been the wrong number.
Okay. No
Yo,
way.
that's a risky switch.
Wait, Sky, hold on. Wait, but what if you needed that? No,
No,
okay.
okay, works out. Power
Oh
playing
my
that. It's probably
god.
gonna wrap it up.
Oh
Uh,
no. Yes, Sky said 2. That is loud. Oh my god.
that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. What a
yeah. Tough ending there, and that's another
Whoa.
point. Oh my god. Three,
How many
three of the
times?
games Goldie ended on double wild.
There's something's clicking with the wilds for Goldie, man. Something's clicking.
Oh man. What was the last card there on the blue 8? Was the green 1 drawn or was the red 4? I'm not quite sure. It could have been.
I feel like it had to be green, but maybe,
I
but
would
I don't
think it
know.
was the green 1. Yeah, the green 1. So if that's interesting because if Goldie switched to a green 8, um, if Goldie switched to a green 8, that would have cost them the game. But yeah, tough way to go out there for Sky. Just could not figure out a way to get the endings they needed. Got their win from a bailout, but yeah, the rough one for Sky. But it's going to be Goldie who ends up taking a win, moves on to the final four. Great stuff there, Goldie. I mean, what are your thoughts on this one? I mean, you seem to get blessed with the wilds here because 3 of the 4 games you won, you ended on a double wild. Any thoughts on that and what you took from this match moving forward to try and make your run further than the Final Four, maybe win the whole tournament?
Yeah, definitely a series where you could tell it's competitive because most of the games are pretty long. So honestly, like, yeah, unfortunate to see Sky go out like this, but I think they weren't as lucky as Goldie was overall, and I feel like they can definitely learn from this and also just take this as, you know what, I did well to get here. I got some good wins. Just we'll run it back in the next tournament.
I'm just waiting for Goldie's comments here, and then we'll get a few comments from Sky. But I mean, yeah, for the most part, it felt back and forth. I think the problem for Sky in the end was just it's the turn or dry style where it's just you have some of the ammo and then you just run it, and then you get the Uno, and it's just doesn't have the card to close the game out. But so as far as the wireless go, what I don't adore about them is that unlike social cards, they leave the space open for your opponent to pick what number goes down. Imagine you play a while and you hit with a double +2 after. That's no fun. So I feel safer holding them the way I did because it keeps me in control of what happens after them. All right. Fair. I mean, for Sky, obviously not the way you wanted this to go, but anything you could take from this going into Tournament 4 after this run, and I mean, I guess what's the thought process here after this one? It was your first regional final here, so definitely a good tournament overall, but just come up short of the Final Four. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, going into the final four, I mean, you wouldn't. It was hard to. It would for pretty much almost. I feel like no one would have predicted that. Just because of how the first 2 tournaments went for Goldie, and I feel like it was hard to see the potential from her, and but definitely after her second win, which I remember she was in the play-in, and then she beat. I don't even know what her second round was.
Her second round was Daniel
Uh,
Boyles.
yeah. After that, I started to see it. I started to see the vision on Goldie, seeing like kind of the evolution from Goldie, and we're definitely seeing that. Um, I feel like she has this mix of sometimes being patient and sometimes being aggressive, and I feel like this balance, like this balance seems to be working almost almost flawlessly. Obviously, she did lose a game in game 3, but other than that, like there's a lot that she's doing right, and I feel like with her next opponent being someone
All right.
that like yeah, okay,
Yeah, I mean
um
these could go for both the write up comments and then also the what's it called just the questions for post game. But anyways, keep going, Yoshi.
yeah. So with obviously Goldie making it this far, this is definitely big, and I think she's gonna be introduced to best of nines now, so that's gonna be interesting. I feel like she isn't she's getting more familiar with like short and longer games. So there's a lot that she has learned, and we'll see if she can put into practice against either Alex or Gon, which both of them, a lot of people are thinking are the ones to potentially win this entire tournament. So if Goldie does beat one of either of those players, that would definitely be a huge statement. But regardless, she's gonna have a tough match ahead of her. Uh, we do not have a rematch in the final four with Sky and Gon, unfortunately. That would have been something though if it did. But we'll see who Goldie gets, and I think either of them are definitely capable of making it to the end. But we'll see. Goldie could definitely get the win. Regardless, she's gonna be the on the road. Because Alex is 4 seed and Sky is set 2 seed. I mean, no, it's not Sky. Gon is a 2 seed. So, um, yeah, and she appeared to be doing well here with as the one on the road, so she could be at a pretty good advantage here. We'll see how it goes. I I am excited for that for whatever the final four match ends up being. But yeah, good stuff from both players. Goldie just with just keeping it patient, well, being patient on the wilds especially, but having the balance of when to be aggressive and when not to be. I think that's what gave her the win.
Yeah, just gotta read these post game comments here on the screen here. For Sky, definitely need to not let Nurse take over so much and maybe keep some power cards any longer, but that was hard to tell how long holding against Goldie. Definitely more of an aggressive player, fair enough. I mean, we definitely saw that through the match, and then for Goldie again, definitely piece how I play. I think he'd be able to be flexible with numbers and a little bit unpredictable. It really helped me find my groove this game. Very honored to be moving on to my first Final Four. Thank you, Sky, for being such a venerable opponent, and looking forward to what comes next. And then that's the quote. Sky, if you want one of those comments to be your quote, let me know, or if you could just post your quote when you can, that would be good. But we're gonna jump to the bracket here. Goldie moves on to the final four. Uh, they will be waiting Wednesday to determine who their opponent will be, and that'll be either Gon or Alex. So they do have a tough challenge ahead of them, no matter who they face. So we'll see how that goes down. But we have one more game today. It'll be at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so about 2.5 hours. There'll be Cloro going up against Jav. I think I might be streaming that game, but we might have not short taking that one. I'm not sure. We'll probably discuss that to see how that goes, but that should be a good one to watch out for. Also, Jav, the last debutant remaining in this tournament, looking to make it to the final four and replicate the run similar to MyHell and Gon in the prior tournament. All right. I mean, before we wrap up, Yoshi, any last comments on this match? You think this played out the way you thought it was, and what do you think this takes for Goldie when it comes to maybe possibly being a title contender for winning the June Gelato?
Well, yeah, in my head, I did think this was gonna be a closer matchup. But I do think it was just a case of um, maybe Goldie getting a little bit more lucky in general. But regardless, I think this is definitely more of an even. This is definitely a matchup where I feel like either of them definitely had a chance to win it. Especially towards the end. But I guess what I could take away from this is um, Goldie Goldie has shown like a lot in like how to and what her true potential is. So whoever faces Gon or Alex can definitely cannot underestimate her because if so, that'll definitely be a recipe for disaster for them in really not noticing some of the plays that Goldie does, and I feel like and obviously Goldie has to feel prepared for whoever they go up against because obviously Gon we've seen before has a lot of potential. Got to the Final Four last tournament, and Alex, who knows how far he could have gotten had he not DQ'd in the first tournament. So there's and obviously Alex being gone would be a big statement as well. So I think there's I feel like it's still anyone's game really. I think Goldie definitely has a really good shot, especially if she beats whoever she ends up getting in the Final Four. And then in the final, we'll see whoever. And then the final, I think, yeah, I feel like if she does get past the Final Four, I could see her winning the tournament for sure. It's really gonna. We'll have to see what happens, but I mean, I feel like I've said what I've already. I feel like I've said enough. Kind of like during the time that they were like saying their stuff. So I don't have too much more to add, but I just think, as far as this match was definitely a good match. I just, it would have been nice to see it a bit closer, but I guess Goldie just really took advantage of Sky, and that's how I see it.
All right, fair enough. But again, that'll do it from us. We'll see you back in about 2 hours or so with our second match of the doubleheader. But until then, I'm G-Man, and on behalf of my co-commentator, thank you all for watching MRE UNO. We will see you later today for a Choreographer's Job. Until then, have a good one, everyone.